For 20,000 years, humanity did not speak to the stars. Their signals faded, their ships vanished, and their worlds were erased from galactic maps. The galaxy learned to treat humans as a warning story, a short lesson told to young species about pride and self-destruction. Most believed humans destroyed themselves in ancient wars. Others believed they never existed at all. Only dust and broken myths remained. The Galactic Union ruled the known stars with calm confidence. Hundreds of species lived under its laws. Trade routes were stable. Wars were rare and controlled. History was carefully written and approved. In that history, humans were marked as extinct. The file was old and untouched. No one questioned it anymore. G-1 stood inside the deep archive chamber of the Union's capital station. The room was cold and silent, filled with floating data panels that glowed pale blue. She worked as a historical systems clerk, a quiet job given to those who asked too many questions but caused no trouble. Her duty was simple. She repaired damaged records and deleted corrupted files. Most days, the work felt empty. But G1 did not believe humans were gone. She had found small errors in the records. Dates that did not align. Battle reports with missing endings. Star maps that showed empty space where something once existed. Each mistake pointed to the same forgotten name, humanity. She kept her doubts to herself. Speaking such thoughts could bring punishment. The Union did not like uncertainty. Far beyond the capital station. At the edge of mapped space, something old drifted between dead stars. It moved slowly, without engines burning, without lights. Long scars ran across its surface, like wounds that never healed. Its metal hull was dark, layered, and covered in symbols no modern scanner could read. A Union patrol ship detected it by accident. The object did not appear on normal sensors. It was noticed only because stars behind it dimmed for a moment, as if space itself hesitated. The patrol captain ordered a scan. The system failed. He ordered another. The ship's screen went black. The patrol pulled back and sent a warning. Within hours, the object was being discussed by the Union Observation Council. Leaders from many species watched silent displays as data failed again and again. The object had mass equal to a city. Its structure did not match any known design. It did not answer hails. It did not change course. The council labeled it space debris. Still, fleets were sent. Not out of fear, but routine. As the object crossed into a populated star system, panic began to spread. Civilian ships rerouted. Communication towers glitched. Navigation systems showed false readings. The object moved through it all, without reacting. G1 noticed the alerts while working late. She paused, fingers hovering over a floating panel. The signal pattern felt familiar. Old. Too old. She searched restricted layers of the archive, using access codes she was never meant to keep. A forbidden file opened slowly. Ancient human signal structures appeared on her screen. Broken, fragmented, but matching. Her breath caught. This was no debris. On a distant monitoring station near the affected system. A systems engineer named Dae-Hyan struggled to keep the station running. He was young, quiet, and known for solving problems others ignored. Screens flickered around him as power levels dropped without reason. Then he noticed something strange. Between the noise and failures, there was rhythm. The interference followed a pattern. Not random. Not natural. Dae-Hyan isolated the signal and slowed it down. What he heard made his hands shake. It was not a voice, but it had structure. Layers of encoded meaning. A calling pattern. Old. Very old. He checked Forbidden's datasets and found a match buried deep under red warning marks. The tag was simple. Human. Across the Union. Fear quietly grew. The object continued its path. Union fleets formed lines around it, weapons charged but not fired. Scanning beams washed over the dark hull and vanished. Some ships reported hearing sound where there should be none. Others lost time, their internal clocks jumping forward by seconds. Still, the object did not attack. God inside the dark hull, systems long asleep began to wake. Ancient reactors hummed softly. Memory cores unlocked. A central intelligence reviewed the galaxy with patient focus. It compared the present to the past and found the same patterns, repeating. Conflict, control, arrogance. The condition had been met. The ghost ship adjusted its course. On the Union capital, alarms sounded for the first time in centuries. The object had changed direction. It was heading straight toward the heart of galactic power. G1 watched the data with fear and awe. The truth she had chased was now impossible to hide. Humanity was not gone. It was coming back, and the galaxy was not ready. The ghost ship moved without haste, yet nothing could stop it. Union fleets followed at a careful distance, their commanders afraid to get too close. Weapons stayed charged. No one wanted to be the one who fired first. Across the capital system, fear spread quietly. Civilian traffic was locked down. Stations sealed their outer rings. Leaders spoke calm words to the public while preparing emergency plans behind closed doors. G1 had not slept. She remained in the archive chamber, surrounded by floating panels filled with forbidden human data. More files unlocked as the ghost ship drew nearer, as if distance itself allowed access. She read logs written in old human language, translated by broken systems. They spoke of silence, of watching, of waiting. One line repeated again and again. We chose to endure. Her hands trembled as she copied fragments into a private buffer. If the Union discovered what she was doing, she would be erased from records like the humans once were. But fear no longer mattered. Truth was moving toward the capital at impossible speed. On the outer monitoring station, Daehyun worked alongside emergency teams. Power grids failed and returned without reason. Sensors rewrote their own readings. The ghost ship's signal grew stronger, clearer, more focused. He adjusted the filters and finally heard it. Not noise, not code. A message shaped like a memory. Images formed in his mind through the interface. Blue oceans, green land, crowded cities under open skies. Humans standing together, small and fragile, yet unyielding. Daehyun pulled back, gasping. The signal was not meant for machines alone. It was meant for minds. He sent an encrypted alert directly to the capital, ignoring protocol. G1 received it seconds later. When she saw the signal pattern, her doubts ended. This was a call. The Union Observation Council met in emergency session. Species that once argued over trade tariffs now argued over survival. Some demanded immediate attack. Others demanded retreat. A few quietly asked what humans truly were. The official historical record was brought up on a central display. It showed humanity as violent, unstable, dangerous. A species that burned itself out in endless war. G1 stepped forward before she could stop herself. She spoke calmly, though her voice shook. She pointed out missing records, erased battles, and altered timelines. She showed evidence that humanity did not fall to self-destruction. They vanished. By choice. The council chamber fell into uneasy silence before a decision could be made. The ghost ship arrived. It did not jump into the system with light or noise. Space simply bent, and it was there, close enough that its immense size blocked stars behind it. Union defenses locked on automatically. Thousands of weapons targeted the dark hull. The ghost ship did nothing. Then, without warning, every screen in the system changed. A single image appeared. A human face, not alive, not fully real, but clear enough to see tired eyes and calm strength. The voice that followed was steady and deep. This is a guardian vessel of humanity. Weapons powered down across the system without command. Fire control systems went silent. Fleets were left blind and helpless, though no damage was done. Fear turned into shock. The voice continued. For 20,000 years, we watched. We observed your rise, your unions, your wars, your peace. We remained silent by choice. G1 felt tears form. The words matched the old logs perfectly. The voice explained that long ago, humanity reached a level of power that frightened even itself. Their wars threatened entire regions of space. Other species feared them and moved to destroy them. Humanity responded by leaving. They scattered beyond known space. They erased their traces. They left guardians behind, machines older than empires, designed to watch and wait. The ghost ship was one of them. Daihan listened from the monitoring station, barely breathing. The message filled every channel, every frequency. It was impossible to ignore that the voice spoke again. We return because the balance is breaking. Images followed. Union fleets suppressing weaker worlds. Resources controlled by force. History rewritten to favor power. The council protested, but their words meant nothing now. Humanity does not seek rule, the voice said. We seek prevention. The ghost ship moved closer to the capital station. Shields flared and failed without collapse, as if gently set aside. The station remained intact, untouched. This was not an attack. It was a demonstration. G1 understood then. This ship could have ended them all. Instead, it chose restraint. A final message appeared, simple and direct. We are awake. The ghost ship powered down its broadcast and drifted into a holding position near the capital. Union fleets slowly regained control, shaken and silent. Across the galaxy, the myth of extinct humanity died. In its place stood something far more terrifying and hopeful. Humanity had returned. The days after the broadcast felt unreal. The Union capital moved like a wounded animal, slow and uncertain. Fleets stayed in place, afraid to approach the ghost ship and afraid to leave it alone. News spread across the galaxy faster than any ship could travel. Humanity was not a myth. Humanity was watching. G1 was summoned to a restricted chamber deep within the capital station. Armed guards stood at every door, though she knew none of them could stop what waited outside. The observation council sat in a wide circle, their expressions tight and tired. They questioned her for hours. How long had she known? What records she accessed? Who helped her? She answered honestly. Fear had lost its power. The truth was already free. She told them humanity chose silence to avoid becoming monsters. She told them the Union's history was incomplete, shaped by fear and control. Some council members listened. Others refused. One voice spoke louder than the rest. An elder from a dominant species accused humanity of manipulation. He demanded the ghost ship be destroyed before more arrived. At that moment, the lights dimmed. The ghost ship transmitted again, this time directly into the chamber. No image appeared. Only words, calm and patient. We hear your fear. The council froze. Fear is understandable, the voice said. It is what led you to power. It is what led us to restraint. Outside the station, the ghost ship began to move. Daihan watched from the monitoring station as the ancient vessel drifted toward a Union military fleet positioned nearby. The fleet commander panicked and gave the order to fire. Acting without council approval. Energy beams struck the ghost ship. They vanished, not deflected, not absorbed. Erased. The ghost ship responded. It did not fire weapons. Instead, space itself folded. The attacking fleet lost all power in an instant. Ships drifted, intact but silent, their crews alive and unharmed, across the galaxy. The message was clear. Humanity could end wars without killing. The ghost ship returned to its position near the capital. As if nothing had happened, Ahian felt a strange mix of fear and admiration. This was not cruelty. This was control. Later, he was contacted by G1 through a secure channel. They shared what they knew, piecing together fragments of humanity's long absence. Ancient logs revealed that humans once faced a choice: rule through force, or vanish to protect others from their own strength. They chose to vanish. The ghost ship opened a limited channel again, this time to go one alone. The intelligence spoke more personally now. You sought the truth when it was dangerous, it said. That is why you were heard. G-1 asked the question that haunted. Her .Y return now got the answer was immediate. Because the cycle has begun again. Images flowed into her mind. World stripped of resources. Species silenced. Peace enforced through fear. The Union had become what it once claimed to prevent. Humanity would not allow another collapse. Across the capital, protests began. Some demanded protection from humans. Others begged for their guidance. Old power structures cracked under pressure. The council attempted to regain control by issuing orders to limit communication with the ghost ship. The orders were ignored. Too many had already heard the truth. The ghost ship transmitted one final message for the day. We will not rule you. We will not save you from yourselves, but we will stop extinction. The meaning settled heavily across the stars. That night, G1 stood by a viewport, staring at the massive dark hall hanging in space. For the first time, she did not feel small. Daehyun looked at the same ship from far away, knowing his life had already changed. Humanity was not returning as conquerors. They were returning as guardians, and the galaxy would never be the same. The galaxy did not calm after humanity revealed itself. It shook. Old alliances weakened. Smaller worlds questioned the Union's authority for the first time in centuries. Powerful factions began moving fleets in secret, afraid of what guardians meant for their control. The ghost ship remained near the capital, silent once more. That silence felt heavier than its words. G1 was placed under protective watch. Officially, she was a consultant. In truth, she was leverage. Many feared she had become humanity's chosen voice. She spent long hours reviewing data provided by the ghost ship, fragments of history never meant to be remembered. She learned of the last human war. Human fleets once stood unmatched. Their technology bent physics. Their weapons could break stars. When other species united against them, the war spread too far and too fast. Entire systems burned. Humanity won every battle, yet lost something each time. They realized victory would leave only silence behind. So they ended the war by ending themselves as a presence. Daehyun was brought to the capital under quiet orders. His ability to read the ghost ship signals made him valuable. He felt out of place among leaders and officers, but his calm nature steadied him. Together, he and G1 formed a bridge, translating not just language, but intent. The ghost ship contacted them again. This time, it showed them the future it feared. A powerful Union faction was preparing an assault. They believed killing one guardian ship would prove humanity was not untouchable. Their fleets gathered beyond public censors, hidden behind false trade movements. G1 felt cold fear. She asked if humanity would respond with war. The answer was simple. No. The ghost ship moved before the attack began. Across multiple systems, Union war fleets lost access to their weapons. Command codes failed. Supply lines collapsed. Navigation routes twisted, leading ships in slow circles through empty space. No explosions followed. No deaths. Only helplessness. The attacking faction sent frantic messages demanding answers. The ghost ship replied with a single statement. Broadcast galaxy-wide. Violence answered with restraint will always fail. The message spread like fire. Worlds, once silent, spoke up. Species once afraid demanded reform. Union leaders resigned or vanished into obscurity. Power no longer felt absolute. Sun still resisted. A remote military installation fired a planet-cracking weapon without warning, aiming at the ghost ship. The shot never arrived. Space bent gently, and the energy beam curved away, fading into nothing. For the first time, the ghost ship showed force. It did not destroy the installation. It erased it. Where it once existed, there was only smooth, empty space, as if nothing had ever been built there. No debris. No remains. The message was clear. Humanity would not kill without cause, but it would end threats forever. The galaxy fell silent. G1 understood then that the Guardians were not symbols. They were limits. Later, the ghost ship revealed a truth kept hidden even from most humans. It was not alone. Across deep space, dozens of Guardian vessels waited. Some slept near dying stars. Others drifted between galaxies. Each watched, each recorded, each waited for the same condition. The cycle. Daihan asked what would happen next. The answer came slowly. Humanity would return fully only if needed. Until then, the Guardians would remain. G-1 stood before the council again, this time by invitation. She spoke plainly. The era of control through fear was over. Cooperation was no longer optional. Some leaders resisted. Most did not. Across the galaxy, laws changed. Trade systems opened. Military forces were reduced. Not because humanity demanded it, but because everyone now knew what unchecked power led to. The ghost ship watched quietly. Near the end of the cycle. It sent one final private message to G1 and Daihan. You have done well. They felt pride, but also weight. The galaxy's future rested not on weapons, but on memory. The ghost ship turned slowly and began moving away from the capital. Not leaving, but repositioning, watching from the dark once more. Humanity remained unseen, but never again forgotten. The galaxy entered a new age quietly. There were no celebrations, no grand declarations, no banners across the stars. Change came through caution and memory. Worlds once ruled by fear now measured their actions carefully. Knowing something older and stronger was watching, the ghost ship drifted far from the capital, settling near a lonely star at the edge of known space. From there, it observed everything. Trade lanes stabilized. Border conflicts slowed. Empires learned restraint, not because they were forced, but because consequences were now certain. G1 no longer lived under guard. She chose to leave the capital station and travel as an observer for the Reformed Union. Her role was unofficial, yet respected. She listened to worlds that had never been heard before and carried their concerns upward. She understood now that history was not just record-keeping. It was protection. Daihan joined her later, leaving behind his old post. He worked quietly beside her, helping decode signals from the Guardians that still whispered through deep space. Some messages were warnings. Others were simple observations. Life continued. Years passed. Then one day, the ghost ship sent a signal different from all others. It was not a warning. It was an invitation. G1 and Daihan stood aboard a small Union vessel as space folded gently around them. When the motion stopped, they found themselves far beyond mapped space, staring at something impossible. Human worlds. They were hidden within vast star clusters, shielded and alive. Cities glowed softly beneath artificial skies. Ships moved in careful patterns, advanced yet restrained. Humanity had not only survived, it had grown wiser. They were welcomed without fear. Humans spoke plainly. They explained that the Guardians were never meant to rule. They were limits placed on a dangerous potential. Humanity had spent 20,000 years learning patience, empathy, and balance. G-1 finally understood why silence was chosen. Power without wisdom destroys everything. Daihan saw children learning science alongside history, taught not what they could do, but when they should not. He felt hope stronger than fear for the first time in his life. Human leaders made no demands of the galaxy. They offered cooperation, knowledge, and protection from extinction-level threats. Nothing more. The ghost ship watched from orbit, its purpose fulfilled but not ended. Before G1 and Daihan returned, the Guardian Intelligence spoke one final time. "We were never gods," it said. Only survivors who learned too late. Back in known space, the Union formally changed its structure. Control gave way to representation. History files were unlocked and corrected. Humanity was no longer erased. The ghost ship faded back into the dark between stars. Not gone, but present enough to matter. Across the galaxy, stories changed. Humanity was no longer a warning of self-destruction. It became a reminder. Silence can be a choice. Restraint can be strength. And when the ghost ship crossed the stars again, it did not bring war. It brought balance.